Hello and welcome to Maggie's Fun Time. This is Magzie, and we are back here on the Hypixel forums. You gotta like this episode. Make sure you smack that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get into this, guys. They are throwing out these updates, aren't they? Didn't we just have one last week? Feels like last week. This is I'm not gonna be able to pronounce this right. Torrhus Canyon and Critter Safari. I don't know why the search thing was up. Um, the patch 0.27. Um, hello. Today, for the first time since Hypixel SkyBlock's release, we are adding 2 new islands to the game in one large update SkyBlock has ever seen. Sounds exciting. Then read all the details. So, Torrhus Canyon? I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, guys. Torrhus Canyon is the second foraging item comprising of region known as Galatia. I've not really decided which one it is. I haven't seen anybody actually pronounce it yet. So, accessible from the launch pad in the Moonglade Marsh. Upon reaching Heart of the Mountain 4, there is much to do and see here. Tourist chapters. Upon entering the island for the first time, look for the Halea just down Tourist Path. She will introduce you to the tourist chapters, which you can use to inform your exploration of the island. After meeting Helena, you can progress down the spring path towards Maria, or the second Starline sister and host of this island, Starline Contest. She'll explain to you how her contest works, as well as how she entered a business partnership with the Critter Safari before telling you to go chop some wood. 3 new collections. Speaking of wood, Torrhus Canyon is home to 3 new collections: 8 helix logs, ruby veil shrooms, and honeycombs. Each of these collections has some upgrades to offer to the gear you first obtained in Moonglade Marshes. So be sure to check them out. And their example is the Helix Chopper here. It has a sweep of 50, a foraging fortune 50, and 2 diamonds, 2 emerald, 2 gemstone slots. I can't talk today. It also has the ability Mega Frenzy. Gain 1 sweep for every 20,000 logs cut down in Galatia. Maximum 40 sweep. Yeah, so. And it can be reforged. We know that. Helix logs are obtained from cutting down the many helix trees that are native to the Torrhus Canyon. People will be striving to get this thing. Okay. These trees are the toughest you have come across to this point. So be sure to have a lot of sweep. Honeycomb, on the other hand, is primarily gathered from the various honey hives found around the island. Be careful, though. You'll never know what you might find when you stick your hand in the honey hive. Last but not least, ruby veil shrooms can be obtained by killing Taurus sea creatures in the Taurus Springs. Taurus Springs! Taurus Springs is one of the tallest points in the entire island. Okay. Taurus Springs, one of the tallest points in the entire island, is home to Springs Basin that is frequented by seasoned divers. If you can withstand the pressure, dive down deep and you'll find yourself surrounded by fascinating critters of all shapes, sizes, and temperaments. Cast your rod in, and you might catch some Torrhus sea creatures. Keep an eye out for various offshoot caves found throughout the depths. Divers have reported finding one cave housing an entire ant colony. Others that are home to a strange type of fishing hotspot, and more. If you can make it all the way to the bottom, perhaps you'll find something no other diver could. Hint, hint. Heart of the Mountain Tier 8. Heart of the Forest. Heart of the Forest Tier 8. Heart of the Forest now goes up to tier 8 tiers. Up to 8 tiers. That doesn't make much sense. An overall revamp to the tree has been done. Oh, God. With the goal to move some important perks further down the tree for new players to use sooner. These changes are listed farther below in the thread, and the whispers have been split into 2 types. Forest whispers, gained from cutting down fig trees, mango trees, used to upgrade Heart of the Mountain 1, 2, 3 perks. And desert whispers, gained from cutting down helix trees, used to upgrade helix 4 through 8. Why? Okay, realistically, they've done this in the past. Okay, so like mithril powder, gemstone powder, that kind of thing, but they've never set in the tree and then switched it up. I don't think. Maybe they have. Maybe they have. It's not a big deal, but whatever. They don't want you to have access to the top level perks until you get into the helix tree area, basically. So, designer note: players with in excess of 12,500 Forest Whispers have had them converted to Desert Whispers at a rate of 1 for 1. So you capped at 12.5 for the conversion, and then everything else goes to Helix? What if you don't? I'm confused. I don't play over on the island much, guys, so I don't have a way of knowing if that's an excessive amount or not. I'm just, uh, you might need those whispers, right? Is 12.5 enough to cap the entire bottom perk tree? We'll have to look at when we get in the game. I mean, I have to do a bigger episode today anyway, so. Uh, Actually, I have to do 2, but I'm gonna do 1 tonight if my wife goes take some nap. Um, Charm Chance. Charm Chance is now an official hunting stat, as in the case of most chance stats, such as Secret Chance and Treasure Chance. The stat scales from 0 to 100%, making you more likely to drop attribute shards from variable mobs as it increases. That is great. That's a great change. That means people that don't like the hunting skill can go ahead and get their charm skill up and still get the shards without having to worry about going and hunting mobs excessively. So I like that. You can get passive shards without actually having to do hunting if you want. So I think that's a great change. Critter Safari. Speaking of hunting, Critter Safari is now open for business. Grab your ticket from Marina. Travel to the Safari entrance on the right-hand side of Torrhus Canyon and get on the next blimp to travel to the game's first dedicated hunting island. Entry. Players may redeem one of their Safari tickets, which are obtained from placing highly in Marina's contest, to enter Critter Safari. alone or within a group of 3 friends. Once inside, players are free to go together or alone as they explore the safari's 4 biomes: ice, canyon, forest, haunted. Armed only with a set of critter capsules that can that can use that they can use to catch any critters they come across. When caught, critters will drop attribute shards, which are sent to your hunting box for you to claim once you have left the critter safari. 150 new attributes. Not only do both Torrhus Canyon and the Critter Safari boast more unique mobs than the other island in the game, than any other island in the game. I can't read today, guys. I'm sorry. But every mob species on the islands also drops a unique shard for your collection. And the one they've showed here is the Magzie shard. Devour spread 1. Grants 0.25 gemstone spread. In addition to the new mobs, there are also plenty of new shards obtainable only through attribute fusion. With so many shards also comes many new shard families. Here is a shard from the crime family, for example. Rabbit Godfather Shard, Egg Finder 1. Finds a hitman egg every 250 seconds during the Hoppity hunt. You can cite, yeah, we already know about this. Okay. As a result of all these new attributes, the total amount of attributes across the game has appropriately doubled. For now, we have kept Jade Dragon's Apex Predator perk untouched, but it may need to be adjusted to a flat sweep instead of a percentage based when we inevitably add even more attributes in the future. So be prepared. Your Jade Dragon is probably going to have to change. Okay. Okay. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. As a result of all of these new attributes, we already read that part. Safari milestone. Before entering the Critter Safari for the first time, you will be given a safari belt. This nifty piece of equipment is the only thing you can take into the safari. And though it does not look like much right now, it has the potential to be great. The safari belt here, more safari milestones you have, the stronger the belt gets. It's kind of like Dude's Cloak. Talk to Anders to view your progress. Right click to equip. As you catch more and more critters in each biome, you will progress through the safari milestones. Each milestone reached will grant bonus stats to your safari belt, quickly turning it in from useless item into the best belt in the game for hunting and foraging. Canyon milestones increase rarity, grants hunting wisdom. Hunting milestones grants hunting fortune. Ice milestones grants cold resistance, and forest milestones grants foraging fortune. Most people will probably concentrate on that one and the hunting fortune first. Maybe rarities. If you're going here for the foraging fortune, you're probably going to go for that first. If you're concentrating on money making and hunting, you're probably going to go for the rarity and the hunted milestones first, and then pick up the other two. Let's see. You can check your safari. This cold resistance here will be interesting. Possibility of using this belt in the glacial mines. If we can get that cold resistance up high enough, that would be interesting prospect. We'll have to take a look at it stat-wise once it gets updated on the wiki. You can check your Safari milestone progress anytime by talking to Andrew, by the Safari entrance in the Torrhus Canyon. Sprinkling critters. Sparkling critters. God, I can't read today. All critters have a 1 in 4,096 chance of instead spawning as a sparkling variant, something which is indicated by different color scheme, a sparkling prefix, and a sparkling trail that follows the critter around. Yeah, it's kind of like the Pokemon thing. Yeah, sort of like that. All sparkling critters grant 10 times the rewards of a regular critter and drop a rainbow feather, which can be used to increase the current level of any pet by 1. Cannot bypass the cap, so you can't go over 100. Additionally, players who have already completed their base critter decks will gain access to Toby's sparkling critter decks, where they can take on an additional challenge, no SBXP attached, for trying to catch all 37 sparkling critters in exchange for some cosmetic rewards along the way. An example here is this sparkling ocelot skin here. So, other changes. This is what we're really interested in, right? Will you be the first together? No. Okay. Added bestiaries for all of Moonglade Marsh mobs, being retroactively whenever possible. Adjusted for the grass drops AG Mudworm Shard into the game-wide floor drop system. Added plus 50 Helix Fortune as a possible reward for the Lotto Heart of the Forest perk. Removed Fish of the Fish task from Chapter 7 in the Torch chapters. I guess they were having problems with that. Adjusted Swoop's name color and added the Swoop Milestones header above him. Reduced Fig Hue rarity from rare to uncommon. Reduced Fig Splitter's rarity from epic to rare. That is a massive change. What that means is you're gonna get less stats when you reforge on that. They've just nerfed those items. I understand why. I do, but they still nerfed it. Enchanted Fig Log, rarity from rare to uncommon. Enchanted Mangrove Log from rarity from rare to uncommon. Fig Stone, rarity from epic to rare. Mangrove rarity from epic to rare. Adjusted the half empty and half full Heart of the Forest perk to function island wide instead of 16 block priority. That's a perfect change. I never use that perk, but anytime they adjust that to where it's not a priority, a proximity, sorry, and it works for the entire area you're in, is always good. Adjusted travel scroll to the Murkwater lock to mention islands as Moonglade Marsh instead of Kelity. Renamed Starland Prize to Agatha's Prize. Added text to Shiniest indicating it's purchased from Agatha's shop. Renamed Glacia section of the bestiary to Moonglade Marsh. Added the critter mob type, which is given to all mobs that cannot be killed, only hunted. AG Mossbite. Added mob types to several Moonglade Marsh critters that were missing them. And there's a list here. I'm not going to read all of these, but you can look at them there. Adjusted NPC sale prices for Glacial Wood. Fig got unchanged, and Mangrove got upped to 15 from 8. That's not too bad. Removed most sources of percentage sweep and replaced them with other perks. I don't know I don't know what the CTF is. So it was a percentage sweep, and now it's +1 ability. Level 4 was 10% sweep, and now it's +5 tracking to tree gifts. Wonder why they did that. Lottery perk went from 5% sweep to 10 sweep. Agatha power 1 through 5 went from a flat percentage rate to 5 to 25 sweep. Why did they do that? Removed flax bone from the treasure table. They now have a 25% chance to replace the treasure catch while in the tomb floodway. Good is times 1 flex bone. Great is times 2 to 4 times flex bone. Outstanding is 8 flex bone. Fix the thrown axe penalty being applied incorrectly, causing it to break less logs than intended. Well, that would have been known. That would have been nice to know that it was actually happening. Hit HP from all mobs with the critter mob type as they cannot be damaged. I can understand that one. Reduce tree gift milestones for all trees. So when we log in, we might actually get some bonuses. That's the things. I'm not going to go over them all, but it looks like they were cut by half or more. Like tier 3 was 150. Yeah, there's a couple of that's like that. Tier 6 there went more than half. Yeah. Adjusted the Dray Dragon's egg cost. Fig Stones is now 64. Mangrove Core is now 64, and it costs Helix now 64. So Helix is however you pronounce that. Added stretching sticks to the bazaar. Nice. Adjusted sea lemons to now give foraging XP. Reorganize the Heart of the Mountain tree to make certain perks more accessible for new players. From left to right in this order. Heart of the Mountain Force 1 sweep. Heart of the Mountain Force 2 damage boost. Luck of the Forest. Foraging Fortune. Collector. Axe Toss. Heart of the Mountain 3 Deep Waters. Hunter's Luck. Glacious Might. Heart of the Mountain 4 Lottery. Foraging Madness. Iron Lungs. 250 Gifts, Daily Wishes, Early Bird, Precision Cutting. 5 is Tree Whisper, Center of the Forest, Free Trial. 6, Homing Axe, Forest Fisher, Strength Boost, Starline Supreme, Speed Boost, Efficient Forager, Maniac Slicer. 7, Half Empty, Ricochet, Half Full. Heart of the Mountain 8, Monster Hunter, Force Speed, Essence Fortune, Timber, 2 for 1, Force Strength, Beekeeper. Designer note, we will keep an eye on the impact of the reshuffling and will make further adjustments if necessary, such as moving both the speed and the strength boost further down the tree. Okay. Increased fig tree toughness from 7 to 10. I guess because of the more sweep you got now. I'm guessing. Adjusted sweeps dialogue to correctly mention fig trees now have 10 toughness. Added +10 sweep as a base stat for the frog pet. That's nice. I was actually going to get the frog pet, but it didn't have no sweep bonus on it. So having that as a base stat would be helpful. I won't have to wait on the crow pet. My wife is frustrated because she died in a dungeon.
I'm frustrated with my spring.
Hold on a minute, guys. Improved item lore for Heart of the Forest token message in / Heart of the Forest to explain how Desert Whispers are obtained. Unsoulbound items. Unsoulbound some items. Frog treats and sloth claws. Hunting. Increased hunting skill cap from 25 to 50. Renamed Hunting Fortune to Hunter Fortune to Hunting Fortune. Adjusted the Backwater Bayou's hunt trap table. That's the new weights right there. Reduced rarity of the Thorn Shard from Legendary to Epic. Reduced rarity of the Scarf Shard from Legendary to Epic. Added Scaled Family to the... I'm not even going to try that one. Shard. Adjusted all mentions of salt in the Hunter's Guide to be pink. Adjusted all mentions of traps in the Hunter's Guide to instead refer to hunting traps. Improved the flavor message sent when catching the Invisibug. Adjusted Drowned Shards effect to be named Undead Fortune now grants 0.5 to 5 magic fine on undead mobs. Added Drowned Family to the Drowned Shard. Added Spider Family to the Voracious Spider Shard. Added Spider Family to the Flaming Spider Shard. Added Amphibian Family to the Starlight Shard. Added Lapis Family to the Lapis Creeper Shard. Removed Bug Family from the Honey Mite Shard. Adjusted Honey Badger Shards type from Tree to Combat. Adjusted Howling Spirit Shards type from Forest to Combat. Adjusted Thorn Shards type from Forest to Combat. Adjusted Fern Lord Shards type from Water to Forest. Adjusted Thrust Shard type from Combat to Forest. Adjusted Sprawl Shards ID from U53 to U71. Adjusted Shutter Squid Shard ID from 45 to 53. Adjusted Bullfrog Shards ID from R46 to R47. Adjusted Wild Hog Shards ID from 48 to 46. Adjusted Black Widow Shards ID from R78 to R87. Adjusted Billy Goat Shards ID from 71 to 78. Adjusted Thorn Shards ID from 40 to 57. Adjusted Inferno Demon Lord Shards ID from 28 to 48. Adjusted the Rabbit Cat Shard from 66 to 106. All pests now have their own shard that is guaranteed to drop when hunting. Flies have the fly shard, cricket, so on and so forth. You guys can understand that one. And it shows the name of each one of them there. Give me a second, guys. Oh, wrong button. Sorry about that. Where was I? I hit something by accident. There we go. Right here. Yeah, Field Mouse Shard. Gains Treasure Lover family. No longer Bug family. My wife is about to rip the internet out. Standardized behavior that grants 0.5 to 5 overblown on that's pretty good. I'm gonna have to start getting Field Mouse then. That means I have to start doing traps, guys. That's what that means. Lunar Moth Shard. Moved Lapis Creeper Shard to Combat Enchanted category. Moved Emerald Dye Source from Mining Emeralds to Hunting Critters in the Critter Safari. Ooh, some people aren't gonna like that. Adjusted Ditto Shard. It was 1 to 6 pet luck. Hold on, guys. We are back. Where was that? Oh yeah, here. 1 to 10 pet luck is been moved to tracking. People's not gonna like that either. And went from taming to global category. Reduced tracking granted from private island beacon from 1 to 5 to 0.5 to 2.5. Added some pre-existing shards to the new Trash Lovers family, Crow and Seagull. Added some pre-existing shards to the new Poltergeist family, Mimic. Added the ability to the Entangler Lasso. Grants 1.5 hunting fortune for forest shards caught in the lasso. Added the ability to the medium fishing net. I think you guys get the point on these ones. The extra fortune for using it with the pet that it's supposed to be used for, or the hunting, the critters that it's supposed to be using for. So, yeah. Adjusted the stamina bars of critters to now scale with the shard rarity. So, critters will now have 1 stamina bar for common, 2 for uncommon, 3 for rare, 4 for epic, and 5 for legendary. Also adjusted the color of the stamina bars to follow the rarity system. So you will be able to tell just by the stamina bar what rarity the bugs are. That's a nice change. Added a hunting wisdom booster that can be purchased from Rosemary for 250 forest essence. Okay. I'll have to look into that. Players who spawn mobs from tree gifts will now always get loot share from them. That's a huge change. It also means that the Minimax guys was going to try to go around and get at least 1 hit on your tree to get partial tree gift from it. So we'll see if that's something that people need to watch out for. Improved lore of the pocket black holes. Others moved Fish of the Fish to the Moonglade Marshes, 1 in 20 treasure drop from Torrhus Canyon. Adjusted Crow Pet's Quick Hand perk. Lowers the cooldown of your abilities by 0.5 to 15%. New lowers the cooldown of your weapon abilities by 0.15 to 15%. Okay. That doesn't change the way I'm using it, so that should be fine. Adjusted a dark cocoa truffle from 1 global fortune to 1 cocoa fortune. People are probably not going to like that. Item giving 1 global fortune is not comparable to our vision for the game in the long run, so we're decided to make this change now. In the same update, we are adding various other chocolate sinks to the chocolate factory. Added a skin to the treasure hoarders. Allowed auto recombinator to work in the summoning eyes. On summoning eyes. Why? Okay. Reworked Bow's chimney perk and renamed it to Cannibal. Reduces pickaxe ability cooldowns by 1 to 10%. New increases damage dealt by Bow by 1 to 100%. Zombie Miner now drops a shard that reduces the pickaxe cooldown. Okay. So you don't need it on the pet, so you gave the pet increased damage. That might have to be adjusted, I'm just saying. Remove combat XP from Trevor the Trapper mobs. Removed 1.5 pet XP boost from mining. Adjusted item lore for all vacuums to specify it only shares pests caught in the garden in the vacuum bag. It only stores pests caught in the garden in the vacuum bag. I'm guessing people were trying to use vacuums in other places. Renamed Worm to Stone Worm and gave them a new texture. That'll be interesting to see. He adjusted the stat icon for pressure resistance from the glass bottle to a water bottle. Remove the Slayer and the Bartender discount perks from players who had them from the community project. Players who previously had the perks have been given enough shards to max out the respective attributes, claim them from the community project menu. Note, it felt like it was time to make this perk available to everyone, as many years have gone by since the community project concluded. We plan to take some attribute conversion paths with other community project exclusive perks in the future. Increase the damage dealt by vacuum. It didn't increase anything for that one, but the turbo vacuum went to 150, the hyper vacuum went to 200, and the infra vacuum went to 300, and the hoverist went to 400. Increase the damage bonus granted from Bookworm's favorite book from 10 to 20. He'd talk to Susan scoreboard objective from all players not in the hub. Thank God. As you guys seen that on my videos, it was showing up no matter where you was at. It was showing up and it was overriding other objectives. So that was getting annoying. Added some new secret achievements. Adjusted the Dragon Piper Draconic Essence shop perk. The old perk was gained 10% chance to spawn Superior Dragon if you place the Summoning Eye unstackable. The new perk is Summoning Eyes you drop have 5% chance to be reincarnated. What is this reincarnated thing? Players placing reincarnated Summoning Eyes now increase the chance of getting a Superior Dragon. I see now. Okay, that makes more sense. So there's the changes there. So yeah, and you can go up to 8 out of 8 for the increased rarity of the Summoning Eye. A small amount of attributes that were present in Alpha, as well as some changes to farming, are not included in this release. Okay. SkyBlock OST. While exploring Torrhus Valley, you'll get to hear the glorious soundtrack from the island composed by Oscar Grave. You may know him from the composer Hypixel. He has also composed other songs that have been added to the Hub Garden in Moonglade. These are not note block sounds. The recently added SkyBlock resource pack has allowed us to add fully orchestrated songs to SkyBlock. Make sure you have SkyBlock music enabled on your SkyBlock settings and turn the jukebox to note block volume. Just to be note right here, guys, if you do not want the music to play, say you're doing YouTube and you can't be risking that, this is the steps you need to do in reverse. You need to do these in reverse to not play them, right? So you need to go in and turn your, you need to go in and disable your music. And you can also turn your volume all the way down. So. Beastry changes. Following the conclusion of the recent SkyBlock Designer Q&A, we have had a lot of discussions about the place of Beastry within SkyBlock. Since its initial release as part of SkyBlock 11.2, the Beastry has been through several permutations. Starting off as something that was borderline impossible to max, but with the introduction of SkyBlock XP, slowly transitioning into something that was more feasible to complete. Beastry issues. However, there are still many problems with the Beastry that quickly become apparent to anyone trying to max them. The Beastry is usually the last aspect of a piece of content that you will max. If inflates how long you will need to play a piece of content for. Early game bestiaries, lapis zombies, were inherently unhealthy due to forcing veterans to compete with new players for kills. While some bestiaries had been modernized and were actually too difficult, there were many outliers that were still demanded for too much player time. By the time you max out bestiaries, getting all of its rewards, you're completely done with the content, so you never get to reap the bonus magic find, coins, XP, orbs, and other rewards on that mob. Resulting bestiary reductions. As a result, for the issues identified above, we have made the decision to slash bestiaries across the game by a massive amount. Some examples of the types of changes are you can see include. Wow. Okay, I'm not going to read these off, guys, but you can see they're cutting them like 75%. 90%, some of them. Sea creatures decreased various to 100 to 1,000, and mythic sea creature as for common sea creatures. Mythic sea creatures have been decreased to 50. If you wish to see the entire change of bestiaries, you can click there. I will leave a link to this this forum page, so you'll be able to click on that link if you want and go look at them. I'm not going to look at them. Changing our philosophy, our bestiary philosophy. Going forward, bestiaries will be designed to be more laminate. We will look for players to max their bestiaries at a reasonable point when playing content so that they can use the bestiary bonuses, such as magic find and coin bonus, to improve their rates when grinding for a mob's materials and RNG drops. What we mean by is that just because all mythic sea creatures bestiaries now cap at 50 kills doesn't mean future mythic sea creatures will be designed so that they obtain all their materials and RNG drops by the time you reach the 50th kill. The material grind for each creature can still be can vary significantly. The goal is simply to make the bestiaries more consistent, so they're something you'll typically complete early in the overall grind rather than the very last milestone. We appreciate anyone who ended up taking the time to grind out the old bestiaries to be slashed. We will be more mindful when designing bestiaries going forward, and reduced brackets should make things significantly more reasonable by default. Texture adjustments. The following community feedback, we are adjusting the textures for the following items: Terminator, pictured above, and Aspect of the Void. What's next? Here's a small little sneak peek of what we are planning to release in the near future. Minister update, we already know about that one. And currently deep in Q&A phase. Once ready, we will be putting an alpha network for an extended period of testing and irradiation. Mob level improvements. Mob levels aren't very accurate within SkyBlock. For example, both Zealot Bruiser and Wiki tribe member are currently level 100, despite tribe level having 15,384 times more health and dealing 320 times more damage per hit. Improvements to the mob levels aim to automatically generate coins, skill XP, XP orbs, and mob levels for every mob in the game that accurately reflect how difficult the mob is to kill. This is done by taking into account contextual factors such as mob self damage, place within the game's progression, for example, whether it is a boss, mini boss, whether it is sea creature, if it's so, which tier it belongs to, and so on. So manual rewards can still be sent. Q&A bundle. We are always working on quality of life changes to make the game easier for everyone. This upcoming bundle contains key changes such as making bulk buying from Jacks easier, reducing the crafting recipes for exportable carrots and the blood donor artifact, and more. That is all for today. So, guys, if you like this episode, make sure you smack that like button. It really helps out the channel with YouTube views, YouTube searches, YouTube algorithm movement for the channel. If you subscribe to my channel and you want to get notifications when I have new videos out, all you got to do is go to my page, hit the subscribe button, set your settings. You can come check out the video. If you do like this episode, you want to share it with your friends, tell them you like it. There's a share tab down below. There's links there, social media site. There's a link there for you to copy and post on YouTube post tab. Any tips, tricks, or comments, put it in the comments down below. We'll see you guys later.